Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be talking about something that I get asked quite a lot, but before I get into that I do want to say a quick disclaimer that all of the opinions in this video are just mine. I'm just speaking from personal experience that I've had. Your experience may totally be different, you may have totally different opinions, and that's totally okay. You don't have to agree with anything that I'm saying. I'm definitely not saying that my word is like law or anything. I'm just sharing my experiences and what I personally feel. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. So let's just jump into it. So I get asked all the time, am I ready to sell my art? Should I start selling my art? How do I start selling my art? And this is a very loaded question because, of course, the answer is going to be different for everyone. But I have sat and thought about it, and I have come up with 3 different scenarios or 3 different ways that you may not be ready to sell your art. So if you feel like any of this applies to you, I don't want you to feel bad or that I don't think you should sell your art at all. I just think that maybe you should take a step back, look at your art, look at some of the things that you do with your art, and maybe just kind of reevaluate some things. And yeah, so I'm just going to jump into scenario number 1. You may not have enough experience, or you may be too young to sell your art. Now, this is a bit tricky, but I do have some experience with this. So I'm going to start off by telling a story. When I was, I think I was like 14 or 15, I was on DeviantArt and I opened commissions. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to open commissions and I'm going to sell my art and people are going to buy it and it's going to be great. And I didn't sell a single one. I didn't sell any commissions. No one was interested. I got no comments, no interaction with the posts I was making at all. And I would post journals, I would post forum postings, I would offer my services on, anyone who was asking, and I got nothing. And it made me feel really bad about my art. I felt like I just wasn't good enough. I felt like I wasn't valid. I felt really bad. And the truth of the matter was, I was 15 and my art was not in a place where I could sell it yet. My skills weren't there. I was selling my art for like stupid cheap. Like I was offering $1 commissions, and no one should be selling their art for that cheap. If you feel like your art is in a place where you could only sell it for $1, you are not ready to sell your art yet. So I was too young, I was too inexperienced, I didn't understand, and I wasn't ready. And because I tried to jump in too fast, it made me feel really bad about myself and bad about my art. And if I just didn't focus on selling my art at all, if I didn't worry about selling it, if I only focused on improving myself, I would have been better off. Instead, I kind of spiraled into this dark hole of I'm not good enough. So I try to tell every single young artist who asks me, how do I start selling my art? I try to tell them, look critically at your art. Do you think you could sell this? Do you think people would want to buy this? If the answer is no, or if you are in a place where you don't feel like anyone would want to buy your art, instead of trying to sell it, focus on improving your skills first, especially if you're young and you have like school to worry about or any of the things that come with growing up. I mean, selling your art should be at the bottom of that list. So, like I said, if you are young or if you are inexperienced and you feel this applies to you, I'm not saying you should never sell your art ever. I'm just saying maybe you should improve your skills first, talk to more people about how they started selling their art, and that the experience will come and your skills will improve, and maybe people will start reaching out to you and asking if you sell your art. So yeah, just keep working at it and eventually your skills will get there. So scenario number 2, why you may not be ready to sell your art, is you may not want to work for other people. I have also heard this from so many artists. They're like, well, I want to be an artist because I don't want a boss telling me what to do, or I just want to draw pretty pictures and I don't want to have to listen to anyone. If you are trying to sell your art, you are trying to sell your art to other people. And in order to do that, especially if you take commissions, you're going to have to listen to other people and give them a product that they want. I think there's a misconception about artists that they just draw pictures all day and people throw money at them. That is so far from the truth. If you want to be a successful artist, unless you're like, gosh, you know what, this doesn't even apply. No, if you want to be a successful artist, you need to make something that other people want to buy, and to do that you need to listen to what people want and what's trending, what's popular. And I hate saying that, but if you want to sell your art and make money off of it, those are things you have to pay attention to. I'm not saying that you have to do that to be a good artist or a valid artist, but if you want to sell things, you have to sell things that people want to buy. And a lot of artists aren't okay with that. They don't want to, listen to trends. They don't want to draw what's popular. They want to do their own thing, and that is totally fine. That is so fine. You do not have to sell your art. You do not have to make money off your art for it to be valid. On the flip side, if you do want to make money at it, that is something you need to keep in mind. And like I said, that's not okay with a lot of people. A lot of people just want to do their own things, and that's okay, but you just may not make a whole bunch of money from it. In addition to this, if you want to sell commissions, you will be working for a client. That client will tell you exactly what they want, and you need to create a product for them. They may look at your work and say, I want you to change this, I want you to make this different, you need to add this. And as someone who's providing a service or a product for someone, you need to be able to work with them and be like, okay, I can do this, okay, I will add this. And as long as you're, of course, being compensated for it, you need to kind of listen to what they tell you to do. They have an idea, you have the skills, and if money is being exchanged, you need to provide those skills to that person. And a lot of artists, I find, don't quite work well with people, or they get very, I don't know, just kind of uptight about their work, and they kind of feel like, oh, well, if I'm an artist, I shouldn't have to change anything for anyone. And while that may be true, however, if you're working for someone, if you're providing someone a service or a product, you do kind of need to listen to them and give them a product that they want so that they will be happy, they will come back, they will refer you to other people, and that is difficult for some artists to do. So yeah, you just kind of got to be able to work with people and give people a product that they want. Now, the third scenario is something that even I struggle with a lot. You may not be ready to sell your art if you aren't business-minded. I know a lot of artists struggle with this because we are artists, we're creatives, we want to draw and paint and create, and we don't want to be bogged down by like business and numbers and analytics and all that stuff. But unfortunately, if you want to make a business, if you want to be a self-employed artist who can support themselves just with their art, you need to understand the business aspect as much as you understand the artistic aspect. And like I said, this is a huge struggle, but and this kind of also ties back into the second point, but you need to be able to understand trends and analytics and SEO and how to properly market your work to get to the right audience who will buy it and who will share it and stuff like that. And it's really hard, especially on social media, when it feels like you're just one very small fish in a very large ocean. But if you're business-minded, you will be able to stand out more than someone who is not. And that, I feel, is something that plays a huge part in whether an artist is successful at making money. Not a successful artist, but successful at making money. So, those are kind of some things that I just wanted to briefly go over. I know it can feel really discouraging when you're thinking about your art and thinking about how to sell it and how to make money, but I also just want to say you do not have to sell your art. Just because you do not sell your art doesn't mean that your art is not invalid. You can be totally happy just drawing and painting and sharing on social media and maybe making videos, maybe not, maybe just drawing in your sketchbook and not sharing it anywhere. as long as you're making art and you're happy, you're an artist and you're valid. I don't want you to feel like just because you don't sell your art or you feel like you can't sell your art yet, that your art is somehow not worthy, because I also get that a lot, and that's so not true. I don't want you guys to be bogged down by thinking that you need to sell your art in order to be an artist. That is just so far from the truth. So as long as you guys are being happy, creating art, and having fun with it, that's really all that matters. And if you do want to sell your art, it is very hard. It is very difficult, but you guys can definitely do it. I don't want this video to be discouraging to anyone. I just want you to kind of step back and think about what steps you need to take in order to sell your art, because a lot of people don't quite understand until they start doing it, and then they get very overwhelmed. I know that is definitely what happened to me, so I just wanted to give you guys some things to think about if you do want to sell your art in the future. So work on getting that experience. Do work on doing things for other people. Maybe try, doing some work for your friends first to see kind of how it is to work for other people, and look into maybe business classes. I've taken quite a few business classes on Skillshare myself, not sponsored, by the way. I just really like, they have some really useful classes. But start thinking about the business side of things and marketing and selling and stuff like that. It's a whole other world that is so important if you want to, run a small business, which is what selling your art is. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Like I said, this is not law. This is just my personal opinions on it. Feel free to disagree with me. If you do disagree with me, feel free to write me a comment, a respectful comment, please. But yeah, so like I said, I hope I gave you guys some stuff to think about. I hope you enjoyed watching this painting, by the way. This is a watercolor painting that I worked on, and I had a lot of fun with it. So yeah, that's all I really had to say today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's it. I hope you guys have a great day, a great weekend. Happy Friday. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.